What's up, everybody? Welcome back, man. I hope you enjoyed that song, Believe It by Griffin Tucker. We're going to bring him on here in just 2 seconds, and boom! Griffin, what's up, dude? How's it going?
On the broadcast.
Good to see you too, man. Thank you for being here. You know, I watched that video a little bit earlier today, and I was like, okay, he's like playing, I think, probably everything. So you got to tell me truthfully, on the album, did you play every instrument?
Yes, I did. I played the drums, the bass, guitars, and I sang all the vocals because I've kind of put all that time and effort into like learning all these different instruments because I've been playing for a while, but I know what I want, and it's hard to because I was really passionate about all these songs that I was making, so it was hard to. I didn't really want to communicate that to outside players if I could just do it by myself. So yeah, I did all that stuff on that first record.
That's crazy. When did you first, like, what was the first instrument you picked up? I mean, you're 18, guys. Everybody out there, this dude's 18, okay? So, like, when did you first pick it up? Because you were a beast at, like, 9 or something. Come on.
Well, actually, my first instrument was drums. I started playing drums when I was 5, so it's been 13 years now.
Wow.
And honestly, that's kind of crazy to think about. I feel like an old man, but
I don't want to hear it, dude, man. Not fair.
I've been playing drums for that long, guitar for 10 years since I was 8, bass for like 9 years, piano it's somewhere in there, but yeah, it's been a long time playing all these different instruments.
So, like, where did you start studying? Were you part of, like, it seems like most people your age end up going to School of Rock. Were you part of that crew?
For a brief moment in time, I did attend a music school, but most of like my basic like learning was, I had like a few months of drum lessons, a few months of guitar lessons, but a lot of like what I learned was just self-taught, just listening to songs that I knew, looking at videos, because of course I kind of grew up around the time when YouTube was first starting up, so I could look at videos on like how to get better and different techniques to use. But I did go to a music school for a little while, and that's actually how I got my first band, which was a Beatles tribute band. So that kind of gave me that opportunity. So
You know what?
but yeah, I'm
I
mostly
sh-
self-taught, but
yeah.
I've had a few lessons in there.
I remember running across that video of you with the Beatles band, and you were really young. How old were you when you were playing? You know the one I'm talking about. It's pretty out there. Like, it's easy to find. How old were you at that moment in time?
That one, I know that one of Roll Over Beethoven. I would have either been 8 or 9. I started being in the band when I was 8.
Uh-huh.
But I was in that band for 3 years, so I think I was around 9 at that time.
See, that's crazy because even at that moment, I mean, because you'd only been playing like a year, is that right? Playing guitar for like a year at that point?
Yeah.
And you were already just like a master guitar player in my book. I mean, you know,
Oh,
I've
thank you.
had guitars sitting around, you know, me for 10, 15 years, but I mean, not very focused on it, but I mean, I can't get anywhere close to where you were even at that 1 year mark after having them around here for 10 years. And so you learned most of it from YouTube?
Yeah, most of it, I just kept listening to certain songs. I'd get like tab books. The first thing, like I got my guitar, I got my first guitar on Christmas Day in 2000, would have been 2009, and I got my first guitar was just like an Ibanez, just like a cute little, just kind of like tinier guitar, and I got a Kiss tab book. And so I just go through it and I flip through it and learn all these different songs like Cold Gin. And of course, my parents are looking at me like, I don't think you know what Cold Gin is. But I still love playing the songs. And I'd have like a Kiss tab book, AC/DC tab book, and this giant like Beatles tab book of like all of their songs. But I just constantly just kind of like sit by myself and just kind of like teach myself and just get, immersed in all that type of world.
Well, I mean, you have to have
The first guitar solo I ever learned was actually "You Shook Me All Night Long," which I actually just got up with Shannon.
Yep,
Shannon,
yep.
our good friend Shannon. We
Right.
just got up and played that song not too long ago, and So yeah, that was pretty cool.
You get up and slay that one all the time, man, with Metal Shop, and I saw you do it with the '70s band and different groups like that, and it's a lot of fun to play that. But I mean, it's really impressive to have that kind of talent and skill, and I mean, you're equally as good on guitar as you are on drums as you are on piano. I don't think I've ever seen you play bass before, but I'm sure, I have no doubt, you're probably slaying at that too. But it's probably that passion, that passion for music that drives you to just continue to learn and learn, right?
Yes.
So
I
cool.
mean, I've and my dad loves to pull up like all these different audio clips that I would just send him, but I used to like whenever like I first got GarageBand, I was so obsessed with the ability to be able to put multiple tracks on top of each other and kind of like emulate what of course these bands would do like in the studio, just kind of like putting different like harmonies on top of one another, putting like instrumental arrangements together. So that general like curiosity starting out, definitely I kind of took to that because I would put like all these different I would take like Beatles songs and I would just put like all these harmonies and kind of figure them out, and that's kind of helped me with learning how to harmonize. So it wasn't really like a thing of just like, hey, you should learn how to harmonize, you should learn how to get better taste with how you do your bass lines. It was just kind of like a natural curiosity of how it all
Yeah,
kind of just played into each other.
and just like experimenting too. I mean, I know that that's a lot of fun. I remember when I first got the ability to do that beyond like a 4-track recorder, which you probably don't even know about, but you know, they would just like 4 tracks is all you could do on like a cassette little Tatscam thing. And then once they started doing things digitally where you could get your, you know, your software and do all that, I was there too. Like I said, I'm not even really a guitar player, but I would lay down guitar, I would lay down bass, I would put chimes and drums and harmony, like just, you know, and just play around. And it is a really cool learning experience to get into all that. You mentioned earlier the Beatles, that you were in like a Beatles tribute band. Is that like one of your favorite bands, you think?
The thing about like my favorite bands is I always go through like different kicks. Like I've been on a Led Zeppelin kick for a while now. I'm actually in a Zeppelin tribute band right now, but I've had it like kicks on Zeppelin, Queen, AC/DC, Kiss, but for me the Beatles kind of like remain constant in like just constantly loving them and constantly like listening to them because my shuffle like my iTunes just like this just a list of songs is like 3,000 songs, and it's very easy to just kind of like just skip through them and get to songs like I also love ABBA, by the way, which I don't know if many people know about me, but I love like ABBA.
See,
Um,
that's not common. You know, you talk to a lot of people your age, and they might like a lot of the bands you mentioned earlier, but ABBA isn't one of them that just normally pops out. What about ABBA is it that you dig?
ABBA, I don't really know. It's amazing to me that especially like with the subject matter of a lot of like especially like their mid to later songs. It was all about like because they were maturing together with learning how to be in a relationship with each other. And with a song like Knowing Me, Knowing You, it's a very sad song, but they still managed to find a way to put a somewhat kind of like happy sounding backing track behind it. And of course, Benny would write like all these songs like starting on like piano. And so he kind of start there, and from there he would show it to session musicians, and then they would add their parts to that, which kind of made their songs very melodic because it started out on, you know, on piano, which of course relies on these notes being like very meaningful and not kind of like slid around or kind of like moody. It's just it's very reliant like mostly like on the melody, which is something that, you know, something that kind of why I took to the Beatles, because Paul, and especially Paul, was such an amazing melody writer, and of course the harmonies that both ABBA and the Beatles would do just constantly amazed me. And I don't know what it was, it just kind of helped me like take to that. But I've always just had some thing in me that kind of was always curious about it.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. It's a lot of diversity happening there, and it kind of speaks to the different talents that you have as well. And most people probably watching have heard of Griffin Tucker, I bet, because we talk about you guys a lot on the channel, and you guys were involved with Drumathon. But the when you do your original project, you sing and play guitar, but in the Battle of Evermore, your Led Zeppelin tribute band, which by the way has a female singer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you're the drummer for that band, and you're busting out some freaking Bonham, man. That is cool. Do you have a specific like setup that you use, a drum setup that you use for the Zeppelin tribute?
My setup for the Zeppelin tribute is it's a typical like Bonham setup: a snare, rack, two floors, a 24-inch kick. But I use Ludwig right now. And I have a 13 rack, 16 by 16 floor, and an 18 by 16 floor. And my Superphonic that I have, which is a 14 by 6.5, which is what Bonham used, it just pops, and it cuts through, and it's just a good sounding drum. But I also have Pisces cymbals. I have a mixture of giant beats, some 2002s. I've kind of had to figure out, because I've been doing like a lot of trial, because I've been doing this Zeppelin tribute for a year now. Our first actually our first one-off show would have been a year ago, not too long ago, like maybe a couple days ago. But I've been constantly trying out, like, what if I use like a giant beat 18 over here, but a 2002 20 over here. So it's just trial and error, just seeing kind of like what I like, because Bonham would usually go with something like B8 as far as like what his cymbals were made out of, but I usually kind of go with what Bonzo would go with for
It's
this tribute band.
never a bad way to go, for sure. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'm glad you got into that a little bit, because we have a couple of drummer nerds in the house tonight. We got Chip Ritter is out there. I know that Randy Ebert was here earlier. He's a drummer and a male breast cancer survivor, and we often have drummers, swing by the page and watch the replay as well. So it's good to dork out for a second on some gear, and I love having drummers on the show. And I don't think I've ever had a drummer, guitar player, singer on the show yet, so this is cool. It's really
Oh.
cool. But yeah, man, and,
Well,
and go ahead,
the
man.
good thing about playing all these different instruments is I'm now learning, since I'm kind of changing and doing some lineup changes with both my original projects, both Vile Device and the Griffin Tucker and the Real Rock Revolution. I'm slowly figuring out that being able to play all these different things is helping me to be a better leader, as far as how I communicate with both my bassist and my drummer. And it's helping me, because, and of course, I could just be like, just play something sloppy, or do like a do do god thing, just kind of like make sounds. But it helps to be able to kind of, like, if I need to, just kind of like pick something up and kind of demonstrate it real quick. And it's helping me to be more like a leader, and to understand what drummers and bassists, what their thought process is, as far as like how they express themselves within a song that I've written or I've co-written with somebody else. But I feel very fortunate that my parents kind of helped me pick up all these different instruments, and kind of
Yeah,
supported
man.
me along the way.
No, that's a huge blessing to have that capability. I know that because I can speak from experiences as being the drummer, that I know about 8 chords on guitar probably, and that's it. And when they're playing them, I don't know which ones they're playing, unless I'm watching their hand or something like that. Like, I'm not in the middle of the song and I'm like, oh yeah, that's cool A right there. Like, I have no idea. So like, whenever they start talking about notes or whatever, me and Shannon, of course, are like, yeah, man, I think you should play the A sharp minor. We don't know what we're talking about, and so
Yeah.
I could imagine, especially when it comes to original music, that's really sweet to be able to like pick up that instrument and be like, here's kind of the feel I was going for with this song, and be able to actually demonstrate it to them right then and there. That's just super cool. So, I think it's great that your parents supported any instrument, but to push you to study even more. And I'm jealous about the piano thing. I have a piano back here. You can see it. It's like right there. Got a baby grand piano right there. I can't play anything but chopsticks on it, but I have it. And I just, if I could have more time to just learn all this stuff, I would love to someday. So that's super cool. But, one of the reasons I wanted to have you on tonight is you have also been just such a huge supporter of Breast Cancer Can Stick It. Back in 2018, you were second place top fundraiser. You were the first place top fundraising band. So your band performed at that show. Very, very cool. We're super thankful for all your support, Griffin. And then this year, I'm going to announce right now because nobody knows this, and we'll do a separate announcement. I know it's so crazy and exciting, but at Drumathon 2020, Griffin is going to open up the show playing the national anthem, which he's done a lot at other games and stuff like that. So, woohoo, man, that's right. So Woo! Super cool. I was actually watching a video of you doing it earlier today. I think you were at a baseball stadium somewhere. I'm not sure what team it was. Maybe Rough Riders?
That was actually at my graduation.
Was it really? That's killer,
yes.
Dude. That's awesome. I mean, come on. Who gets that? I bet that was so cool. What do your classmates think of you? I mean, like, travel around playing gigs all the time since you were a kid and everything. I mean, do you like walk down the halls and people are like throwing flowers at you and stuff, or how does that work?
Oh my gosh, wouldn't that be nice? I mean, I've gone to the same. I went to the same school for nearly all my years of schooling. I went to a public school in third grade, but I was like, I'll change back to home base. But at especially by high school, I didn't really like flaunt myself as like this guy who's done The Voice and American Idol. I didn't really have an interest in like proving anything to my friends because that's all we were. We were just friends that just loved talking to each other, and not a lot of us, well, not many of my classmates were super like into music like I am, but it was nice to just grow up around just really just nice people. And luckily my teachers have also supported me in doing all this music stuff. So in whether it's like taking time off or if I need like help like going out somewhere, but also working on like tests that I need to make up or something, they were very very supportive and like helping me through that. But when it came to graduation, and of course this year with all the stuff that's going on in the world, we couldn't have it in our normal venue, which was indoors, and of course like it was this giant like church. And so to make it up, they decided that they would have it at the Ranger Stadium, which of course was really really awesome. But then our principal asked if I would do the national anthem, and I did it once before at my last homecoming game. Um, and of course I hadn't even done it since then. So it was really nice that they let me do that. And of course I'm really thankful that
That's
they let me do
so
that. But I'm
cool.
really excited to be able to do it for Drumathon this year.
Yeah, dude, we're excited for you to do it too in this virtual world that we're living in now. But man, playing that at the Rangers Stadium, that's killer, man. That is so cool. And I got one more thing I got to make sure and touch on because as you were talking, I was like, we haven't even talked about your television appearances, man. Tell people about some of that stuff that happened early on.
So I was on both The Voice and American Idol. I got to be on The Voice in 2015. I'm terrible with dates. But I did that when I was 14. I was just about to turn 15. Um, I think I actually turned 15 the weekend after I actually did my blind audition. But the only reason why I was able to do that is because I was going to be 15 by the time the episode aired. So I would have been, I think, either the youngest or the second youngest contestant on the show by that point. My friend Sawyer Fredericks was also around that age when he did the show, or around, I can't remember what season, but he did it, and he won the show, which is awesome for him.
Wow.
But I did the show. It was really awesome. I got to meet a lot of very creative people, and of course, people who kind of like share the same vision that I have, as far as playing music and creating music and being able to kind of share something with the world as far as like like our art. But and I got to meet Blake, Gwen, Alicia, and Adam, And Blake and specifically Blake was very very nice because the deal with the blind audition is that if for those of you who don't know, for um for the blind audition, basically you get out on the stage and the judges are facing away from you, so all they can hear is just the music and just your voice. And so when they were listening to me, I was just right in that period where like my voice was starting to change, and so I was doing a song. I was doing "Heartbreak Hotel" by Elvis Presley. Um, Although Elvis Presley covered it, I can't remember who did it first. But I was singing that song, and of course my voice had gotten so deep at that point that they thought that I was like 23 years old singing about heartbreak, but I wasn't actually like feeling the song. So once they turned around, they were like, "Oh wait, this kid is 14. Where'd the other guy go?" So we
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
but yeah, we were doing that, and of course they kind of like told me about like feeling the song, which I still haven't really dealt with heartbreak yet. I haven't really like been in like a serious relationship, but it was an important learning experience because for any song that you're singing to people, it's important to be able to feel the song so that they'll understand like what the lyrics mean and all that too. But after my blind audition, Blake actually came backstage and talked to my mom and dad about how he seriously thought it was like some 23-year-old guy just singing about heartbreak, but
That's
it
so
was it was really
awesome,
cool
man.
getting to meet them.
Yeah, no
But
doubt. Have you been able to keep in touch with any of the other contestants or anybody involved with that since that time or from
not
either of the shows?
not super close, but I have like stayed in contact with a few people. Because there was probably like 200 contestants on each show, on each season that I was on. But I have kept in touch with a couple of the people that were on those shows. But most of those people that I kept in touch with were people that I knew previously, like before I went on the show. Because it's a super just like everything just kind of like whizzes by and just like a flash because it's super just like you're doing contracts and you're doing interviews, you're doing like B-roll, and it's very rare to kind of like catch that moment where you can just like talk to your peers about like how you're feeling in that certain moment. But it was awesome doing the voice, and of course when I did American Idol, it's a different they're different shows, and the process, especially like the first judge audition, which, as most of y'all probably know, you just get out there. It would have been Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan, which of course, because that's kind of like a
Yeah,
sight to
no stress at all, man. Yeah, no anxiety, no stress at all, just a chill. Oh my gosh,
yeah.
man.
But it was crazy because of course Lionel. It was a strange experience during that first audition because I'm doing rock, but I'm still young, but I'm doing all these oldies songs. So I'm sure like because they're up in like the music business. They're thinking about like marketing. Who am I going to appeal to? Am I appealing to a younger audience? Am I appealing to an older audience who already knows these songs? So I actually did. They only showed like maybe like 15 seconds of my audition, but I did like Lady Madonna. I did Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Sarah by Fleetwood Mac. But there Lionel, and of course it's been a while. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said something like, "If this is what you can do at 15, I'm afraid of you."
Mhm.
And I was completely taken aback by that because, of course, they're
Uh,
all just legends.
yeah,
But
man. I
Lionel
remember
has been
seeing
in this
that.
game for such a long time, and of course, Katie and Luke were very nice. And of course, Luke said something about like you got to pick a horse as far as what you're doing. Are you going with 70s music? Or are you
Pick a
going with
horse.
music of nowadays?
Right.
But it was a very fun experience, and of course I'm glad I got to do it. But there's still TV shows. But of course, there's the good things to take out of them, which is meeting people that have the same dream as I do, getting the exposure, getting to reach a wider audience so that I can have the opportunity to entertain and entertain more people and perform for more people. But I'm definitely very grateful that I got to be on both those shows.
That's very cool, man. Well, I want to let you know a lot of people have been commenting and saying that you're an amazing artist and killer musician, all this stuff. A lot of people. Melissa Kay says hello to you a couple of times. She said hello. Mandy's out there saying hello. Chip Ritter says Griffin rocks. Joe Jones.
Army is the best army out there.
Yeah, exactly. Joe Jones says this kid is awesome. So you got a lot of feedback on there. Now Mandy has a question. She wants to know: do you have a favorite song to play or sing?
Ooh, I was actually just answering this question on Instagram at some point. I kind of can't pick like one specific song, and especially with singing, that's just like impossible to pick just one. But I love, and of course, with drums, I love doing Zeppelin stuff. Achilles' Last Stand is one of my favorite songs to play drums on. The song remains the same is up there as well. Bass, the Beatles and has so many iconic bass lines like "Hey Bulldog," "Silly Love Songs," "All My Loving," all these different types of songs. Guitar, I love playing a lot of Queen songs on guitar because Brian May was an excellent guitarist, and I love the way he would construct all these different riffs and solos he'd do. And of course, I love like all the Beatles songs and Zeppelin songs on guitar as well. So it's very hard to pick one. Uh, Piano, Paul, of course, again with songs like Lady Madonna, 1985, Martha My Dear, all these good songs. And singing, I love singing my originals because of course I wrote them and I've kind of like fit them to like where I am as far as vocally, and it just kind of fits where I am. So I guess that's my answer for my vocal.
That's
I hope
awesome.
that's not super just
No,
like, oh,
no.
I like my
I
originals,
like
but
myself a lot. No, it doesn't come out that way. Seriously. I mean, it makes total sense because, like you said, you write it to your vocal range and you're singing about something that you wrote that you mean. So it gives a lot more meaning behind it when you sing it. You're going to have a lot more passion behind that. So it totally makes sense. But man, you're just a plethora of music out there that you dig and super cool. So with that, I think we want to hear you play a couple tunes, man. I think it's time for Griffin to rock out right now, right here. I know. And Michelle Graves says she's super excited to see you do the national anthem at Drumathon 2020 and thankful too. So we're all super thankful in the Drumathon committee for you being a part of it, Griffin. So, man, dude, take it away, man. Play some rock and roll for us or something.
rock and roll. Gotta tell you true, I've been thinking about you. Well, my heart feels blue, cause I'm here without you. And I don't care if we are, no, cause you know you're the only one, yeah. So I gotta make you see you belong with me. One love, one kiss, one heart can't miss. One me, one you is too good to be true. Wanna hold you tight, wanna show you, baby, it's alright, no matter what you do. Well, my heart belongs to you, so I got to make you see. You belong with me. One love, one kiss, one heart can't miss. One me, one you is too good to be true. I could go a million miles. I could see a million smiles. But you're the one for me. One love, one kiss, one heart can't miss. One me, I do. I'm so glad you asked. Uh, that song was off my first album. It's called "Gotta Tell You." I think let's do this song I just released not too long ago. This song is called "Beautiful Disaster," and it's about just seeing the positive in any situation that you're in. Especially like if it's hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But I think it's especially fitting for a time like now. Which of course we didn't even write this song during this time, but
Yeah,
I think it kind of fits with the time. So I hope you like it.
no doubt. Awesome.
Here and now, I'm looking back on the days, all the times when I lost my way. In the rain, I'd run for cover. Instead of being cleansed, I let it pull me under. Instead of feeling blessed, but now I have come to this place. When I see lightning flashing, I'll know it's angels crashing. I'll feel the passion, 'cause it's beautiful. Let go of my defenses, just to awake my senses. The storm is ending in this beautiful disaster. This is real, I've come to see face to face all the doubt that I feel inside's been erased. Each cloud has a silver lining, no matter how dark it seems, and it won't keep the sun from shining or let it break my dreams. And now I have come to this place. When I see lightning flashing, I'll know it's angels crashing. I'll feel the passion, 'cause it's beautiful. Let go of my defenses, just to awake my senses. The storm is ending in this beautiful disaster. In a world of shadows, there has to be light. In finding a balance, there's no black and white. Oh, but now I have come to this place in life where I belong. When I see lightning flashing, I'll know it's angels crashing. I'll feel the passion, 'cause it's beautiful. Let go of my defenses, just to awake my senses. The storm is ending in this beautiful disaster.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Awesome. Is that? Did you
Thank
say
you so
that's on
much.
your newest one or?
That is one of my newest singles.
Gotcha. Very cool. You
Yes.
need to tell everybody how they can get your album, man.
Is this a sellout section of the show?
Yes,
Yes!
man. Exactly. This is your time, man. It's your time to shine, man. Promote away. Do it.
Anyway, I'm so sorry. Anyway, if you want to check out my music, which of course I would really, really appreciate if y'all would at least take a listen to one or two songs. But my songs are they're on iTunes, they're on Apple Music, Spotify, Reverb Nation. I think they're still on Reverb Nation. Um, but most streaming sites that you can look up, YouTube. There's some videos on YouTube of my songs. Um, But most streaming sites, they'll probably be there. But if you just look up Griffin Tucker, you should be able to find them.
Very cool, man. And you're on all the social media too. Are you new to TikTok? I looked and it looked like you had like 6 videos out there. So are you fairly new to TikTok?
I am new to TikTok.
Yeah, that's cool. Hey, man. I mean, we just got on TikTok. Well, I guess you know because we hooked up on TikTok recently. We just got on TikTok maybe 3 weeks ago, and so it's been really crazy. And then you're also on Instagram. Are you on Twitter as well?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram as GKT Rocks. That's
Gotcha.
GKT Rocks. I'm on Facebook, Griffin Tucker Music. And TikTok, honestly, I couldn't tell you what my TikTok handle is.
You know what? I typed in just
Griffin Tucker, I think it's out there.
Yeah, I typed in just Griffin Tucker as one word, and you popped right up. So you popped right on up there. That's super cool. Yeah, man. Thank you so much for joining us. And I realized that we kind of went a little over. I'm sorry about that to keep you a little late. Not
That's
too
all
bad,
right.
but just a tad late, man. And really cool to hear you play and rock out and just be you in the way that is awesome. I just love it when you come out to shows and get up and jam with us, and I just can't wait to see where you take this, and we're super excited to have you be a part of Drumathon 2020 coming up October the 4th right here on the Breast Cancer Can Stick It Facebook channel. So Griffin, man, have a great night. I hope you'll come back and see us again real soon and jam for us some more.
Absolutely. Thank you for the kind words, and of course, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely, bud, man. We'll share this out and make sure that a lot of people watch the replay as well, okay?
Alrighty.
Great. Take care, Griffin.
Take care.
All right, guys, man, give it up for Griffin Tucker, man. He's amazing. That guy, I'm trying to think the first time I saw him. It's been several years now, and I just remember being blown away from the very first moment. So super excited and proud to have him on the show tonight, and hope that he'll come back